Hello guys, you're welcome to another beautiful day with me on my channel, and my name is Obinje O. This is Obinje O Talk, and that's because on Obinje O Talk we're going to be talking about lots and lots of relationship issues. I create content on love, life, marriage, and basically everything in relationship that you can imagine. And today I'm going to be talking about conversations that you would, probably be having, or you should be having, in your courtship or your dating stage as regards having marriage in view. A lot of people are into marriages, and some of the things that are actually happening right now is more of a problem to them, and that's because while they were dating, they were not having, or they did not have conversations that was going to be like an opener or a window into who their partner is, or a window into what they should expect or what they should be doing in marriage. And so when they get into marriage and some of these things begin to pop up, that's a bird flying. When some of these things begin to pop up, they are like, oh, I wish I knew my partner very well. I wish you didn't like this, or I wish I knew you liked this, or I wish I knew basically a lot of things about you as regards the particular situation on ground. I only think the problem is that they did not date and court and talk about things that they should have talked about while they were dating. So you're dating somebody with marriage in view, and you're saying, oh Binje, oh, so what are those conversations I should be having with my partner so that I don't get a rude shock when we are married? Not to worry, I'm going to give you a number of things, six, actually six conversations that you should be having with your partner while you're dating, so that you don't get hit with a mighty blow when you get married. And the first thing that you'd want to talk about would be money, finances. I know a lot of people shy about conversations that have to do with money with their partners, because they wouldn't want to come across someone who is being too pushy and too forward, or wouldn't want to sound as a woman or a man who is only marrying you because of your money. But however way it is, however difficult it is, as long as you're pursuing marriage in thought with this person, you then have to talk about the finances, you have to talk about money. And when you're talking about money, you would want to ask questions about if your partner is a spender or a saver. When I talk about spenders or savers, you'd want to know how your partner views saving or spending money. Is your partner someone who loves to spend, 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 spend? And if your partner is someone who spends a lot of money, what are the things that he or she spends money on? Are they goods or products or services that you think are not relevant and your partner thinks are relevant? Or in general, are these things actually relevant or irrelevant things? If your partner is a saver, then you'd love to know why he or she is saving money. Is he or she saving money because he's afraid or she's afraid that he doesn't want to run into debt, or he doesn't want to run into some kind of lack and want? Or is he or she saving because they plan to invest money into something in the future or whatever? So you need to trash out the issue of savings and spending. And of course, another thing you'd want to talk about when it comes to finances is that you're looking at the issue of having joint accounts or not having joint accounts. A lot of people frown at having joint accounts, but that's actually one issue that you need to trash out with your partner. You wouldn't want a situation whereby you guys didn't talk about having a joint account or not having a joint account, then out of the blues your partner starts talking about both of you having a joint account and you are not comfortable with it. So you'd want to know that, okay, now that we are dating and we are actually looking at marriage in the long run or the short run as it might be, what's your take on us having a joint account? Are you in for it or are you against? And at that point in time, your partner has to let you know why he's against, or he's for it, or why she's against, or why she's for it. These issues need to be trashed out at this issue. Also, on the finances, you'd also want to look at how you spend your money, as in what financial chores is being doled out to both parties. We all know that in every relationship, one partner tends to earn more than the other, and in the case of this, usually the men tend to earn more money than their wives. So both of you would sit down and ask yourselves, are you going to take the sole responsibility of the family as a man, or are we going to cut it 50-50? And if we are cutting it 50-50, you have to bear, or you have it in mind that your wife might not be earning more as you do, or your husband might not be earning as much as you do. But either case, the party who earns more and you who earns less will need to sit down and divide the financial chores in the house. Who does this and who does that, and who does this and who does this. Okay, so that's that for how you break down the sharing of the financial chores in the house. Another issue you would want to put into consideration will be budgeting for projects, budgeting for family vacations, budgeting for schools that your kids will be will be attending, and just budgeting to do something that is of a big budget in the family. How do you guys get to budget? Are you opening a particular account whereby you're going to be throwing money into it every now and then, or you just get out of the blues and forward ever we have this project on ground that we need to work upon? So that's one discussion that you have to talk about while you're dating: money, finances, every other thing. I know it's a very, 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 very difficult conversation for two people who are dating to talk about, but trust me, if you're in a relationship with someone who you are planning to get married to in the long run, this is one major conversation that you do not want to exclude. You don't want to be hit by conversations that have to do with money in the future, and then what your partner wants to do with money is obviously not what you would want to be doing with money. So these are things both of you need to trash out. The second thing you need to talk about would be that another very trickish conversation people do not like to talk about is sex. And I wouldn't blame most people. Our African society here, or our African culture, makes sex a taboo topic for people to talk about. So you won't be wrong if you have a partner who doesn't like to talk about sex. But honestly, you have to sit down, both of you, and talk about sex. You want to know how your partner views sex. How open is your partner when it comes to communication or talks that have to do with sex? You need to talk about it. If sex is going to be on schedule or it's going to be on roster, how often would you want to be having sex in your relationship? You need to put into consideration that as the marriage goes on, the sex is going to be going down, 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 and down. And if you do not do something about it, that means your sexual relationship in your marriage is going to be on a standstill. So both of you at this point in time have to talk about issues that would help you people build your relationship as regards your sexual relationship in your marriage. You need to talk about issues that pertain to your bodies. You need to let your wife or your husband know issues that deal with you sexually, or anything that's going to help you people in your sexual relationship in your marriage. These are things that you people need to talk about, so that when you get to that stage in the future, you know how to deal with it, you know how to handle it, so that it doesn't affect the relationship and the marriage. Because sex is one tool that has a way of either lifting or reducing the standard, or whatever love that is actually going on in the relationship. Another thing you would want to talk about is children. Yes, children. You need to talk about children in your relationship, so that you don't just get into marriage and you're having kids or you're not having kids as you would want or would not want. When you're talking about kids, you need to know the number of kids you'd want to have in your marriage. Yes, some people are from large families, and in a way it has affected the way they look at having kids. And as a regards of this, some people want to have so many kids and some don't want to have kids. And there are people who come from families where they were not large in number, and because of this they are inclined to have many kids or not to have many kids. So these are issues that both of you would want to talk about. Do we want to have kids, and how many number of kids do we want to have? Remember, you have to also put into consideration your financial background as regards the number of kids you want to have. Also, you're going to be talking about the gender of the kids you want to have. Thank God, science today, modern science today is able to help in gender selection when it comes to kids. And that is one problem we are having here in the African society. A lot of people are concerned about having male kids and forget that, especially men, and forget that when it comes to the sex selection or the gender of the child, it has to do mainly with the men. And in cases like this, we see a lot of women always giving birth more than the family can actually take care of. And when I talk about family, I mean more than the financial resources of the family can actually take care of, all because this woman is trying to have a male child for the husband, and have a male child for the family at large. So you see, when you are dating, these are things you need to put into consideration. If I want a male child, then thank God for modern science, my wife and I can actually visit a gynecologist where we could talk about my needs as a man or her needs as a woman as regards the sex of the child that we want. And these things have been pre-planned for both of you. So when it comes to sex of the child, you can both be rest assured that if it's a male child you want as your first child or as your last child, or if it's all male or all female children you want, then there are doctors that can guide you on that. Another thing you need to talk about when you're dating will be that of religion. Yes, religion. You see, when you're dating, you could, date basically anybody you want to. But when you talk about marriage, you have to be concerned and need to put into consideration the religion of your partner. Now, a lot of people date people from different religions and expect that when they get married everything is going to be fine. But honey, let me let you know, marriage and dating are two different things. So when you're dating someone, you need to outline the basic truth and the basic fact. Are you comfortable with the religion this person is dating? And if you are comfortable with it, can you actually vouch that in future you are not going to have problems with the person attending the religion he or she is practicing? So you need to ask yourself these questions. Can I continue with you in marriage even when we are certain that this religion is not going to affect us? And you need to put into consideration also that you are going to bring kids. So imagine both of us are practicing two different religions per se. Am I going to allow my wife take my kids with her to this place where she's practicing her faith, or am I going to take the kids with me to where I'm practicing my faith and my partner is not going to have a problem with it? Or two of us are, for instance, let me use Christians. Both of us are Christians, but we attend two different denominations. Am I going to be able to be comfortable with the fact that I go to church here today and my wife goes to church here today? And are you people going to be able to go on squarely in the marriage knowing that both of you are attending different churches? You need to trash out these issues, because you wouldn't want a situation whereby you are married, your wife is going to this church, you are going to this church, or you are practicing this faith, your wife is actually practicing a different faith. There's going to be some kind of religious imbalance in the family. And this is where I talk about the religious beliefs and views about getting married. You need to trash out these issues, because the funny part of the thing is that at this point in time it might be okay to you, but in the future, is it going to be okay with you? So now that you are dating, these are the conversations you need to be having about your religion, about your beliefs, about your views as regards the church, the faith the person is practicing. So that's that for that. The next thing you'd want to talk about is your extended family. Talking about families from both sides, my husband's side, my wife's side. And the funny part of the thing, in Africa, the husband's family tend to feel that they have more weight or more rights in the family as regards that of the woman's family. So every now and then they are always coming into the house. Now, as a couple to be, these are things you need to talk about. Are my family members welcome in my house? What rights and to what extent do these family members have rights and privileges in my family? Some people complain that their mother-in-laws are too frequent in the house, and this is for women. They are too frequent in the homes, and it makes them feel very uncomfortable. People talk about having relatives who come to live with them every now and then. One party might not be comfortable with it, another party is obviously comfortable with it. So both of you need to put into consideration the role that the extended family is playing in your immediate family. Are you comfortable with it? And okay, if family members are coming into your home, how long are they going to be staying in your house? Should they inform you when they are coming, or they can come unannounced? Is it okay with both of you to just accept them anytime they come? A lot of people think that because I'm married to this person, I have a right to dictate whether or not his family member or her family members should not come. And unfortunately, most times men are the ones who dictate this factor in the family. So at this point in time, when you guys are dating, when you are in courtship, this is one conversation that you need to talk about over and over and over, because here in the African setup, we can't do without our family members, we can't do without our extended family members. So when you get married, you obviously would want to have them around you most of the time, and sometimes their being around might not just be favorable to your spouse. So you need to talk about these things, so that when that time comes, both of you are in agreement, you are together in whatever decisions you are going to make as regards your family members. So let's move on. Another talk you would want to have in your relationship while dating as regards getting married will be that of career, and this point mostly will be to men. There are a lot of men that while they are dating with their girlfriends, their partners at that time, they know that this woman is working and obviously they are comfortable with it. But unfortunately, when they get married, they now start telling the woman, you can't work, you can't work, I should be the one to take care of the bills, I'm going to work. They start coming up with a lot of silly excuses as to why the woman should not work. And this is a woman who has been to, though she's done her primary, her secondary, and her university education, because at the end of the day she wants to get a good job, and she got that good job. Then why should she stop working when she gets married? A lot of men will come up with the excuse that you're going to start having kids, and you need to slow down some of the things you're doing so that you don't put yourself and the baby in harm's way. And of course, a number of women will not take this lightly. So while you are dating, these are conversations that you need to talk about. When we get married, am I going to work? Are you going to allow me to work, or are you going to stop me from working? Okay, and even if I agree with you not to work, what business are you going to put on ground for me, and what business do you think is going to be comfortable for me as a married woman to be doing? Obviously, as a woman, you do not need all these decisions for your husband to take, and that's why at this time both of you are going to sit down, have your long-term goals, so that when that time comes and he tells you not to work, you already know just basically what it is you want to do. And if you have a wife who refuses to stop working when she gets married, then this is the time where both of you need to sit down and come to a compromise that, okay, you don't want to stop working, then this is it. You have to, go on with it. You just have to agree with her, and not just agreeing with her, then when that time comes, you're going to, turn up with a new leaf. But like I said, that's the essence of all these conversations, so that when you and your partner sit down to talk as regards whatever it is that both of you want to talk about that time, you know what to do. But the truth about the thing is that you should sit down and have conversations that you know that even when it comes up in the future, you've tackled it in the past, and it's not going to just come and destabilize whatever peace it is you're both having in your family, and cause enough problem that it's going to take a donkey year to solve. So there are a million and one conversations that you can be having with your partner, but these are the 6 conversations that I can actually think of now. And like I always say, you can dive into the comment section and bring out conversation tips that you would expect or you would want couples to have while dating, so that when they get into marriage, it's not going to be some kind of problem for them to handle or deal with. And who knows, somebody somewhere is going to listen to this video today and know that, oh, we are dating now, right, and we are talking about getting married in the few months to come. Let's once and for all trash these issues right away. And to tell you the truth, you just need to talk about these things so that you know what you're getting into. These conversations are or should I say, these conversations are an opener into who your partner is. It lets you get to know much more about who your partner is, so that you don't get surprised in the future and say, oh, I didn't know you were like this. So you need to discuss about this often and often. It's your girl Obinje. Oh, until I come your way again, it's bye for now.